I have two favorite Whack Packers. Stephanie Conzi. There was Crackhead Bob. Well, really three. Kenneth Keith Callenbach and Fred the Elephant Boy. Fred the Elephant Boy's done my show twice. Fred is a sweetheart. I know it's Fred the Elephant Boy. How you doing? I know Steve. Steve, how you doing? Fred the Elephant Boy. So I love Freddie to death. Crackhead Bob and Kenneth Keith Callenbach, God rest both their souls. Bob was always a sweetheart. Bob, I don't know if you know the story about Crackhead Bob. Bob had one of the biggest carpeting companies in Long Island, and apparently, back in the day, he was a mean son of a bitch. Tough people were terrified of him. So Crackhead, his name was really George Harvey, and he became he got so rich so fast, and he was such an asshole. He was doing coke and then changed it up to smoking crack, and he smoked crack so much that he suffered a crack stroke. He stroked out. And he survived. And they said, Mr. Harvey, if you smoke crack one more time, we don't know if you're going to survive. And he didn't listen, and he went and crack smoked, stroked out, and when he came out, he was fucking paralyzed. He had the one arm that didn't move. He had the leg that didn't move, that had a problem, and he lost speech. So he could no longer say his name was George Harvey. So he said it. He had the only thing that he can get out was Bob. So that's why he said, "Don't do tech. Don't do it. Just don't." So like, and in an odd way, that stroke humbled him to the point where he really got don't do tech. So, and he was like, and he was a sweetheart. In one appearance, and even you could tell he was still like he was a tough guy, because there was an appearance where me and him were like doing something at some event, and somebody said something to me and it was insulting, and I just kind of blew it off. And George, with his one good arm, dragged him over the table, threw him on the floor, held him down with his gimpy arm, and was just about to crack the guy because he insulted me, and he didn't like that. And I was like, Bob, no.
He wished he was like up the full shit right there. He would have fucked right up.
And then Kenneth Keith Callenbach he made me laugh so hard. Can you see if there's any Kenneth Keith things, Noah, on YouTube? Like he tried to blow smoke out of his eye. One of the funniest things is when Howard was up in Albany, and he was trying to, Howard was getting nominated to become the Libertarian candidate for governor. And it was one of the best parties I've ever been to. It was like so much fun that whole weekend. So Howard, the first person that he had nominate Howard Stern for governor was Kenneth Keith Callenbach. And they didn't know that Kenneth Keith, much like you, Joe, carries a giant dildo.
Yeah, I got one in my back pocket right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Sick fuck. So Kenneth Keith Callenbach, it's all the press is there. All the press is there. And he goes, I'd like to nominate Howard Stern for governor. Yeah, Howard Stern for governor. Yeah, Howard Stern for governor. Check out my dildo. Want to see my dildo? I was like, get him off there. Look, it's my dildo. Check it out. No one knew he had it. Like, he just did it on his own. Can't play it because of copyright. Okay. But, like, Kenneth was, like, so fucking funny. And he was actually a wonderful, sweet human being. When I worked at Club Expo and I was doing the VIP ropes, he would come down all the way from Philly. And I'd give him a bunch of drink tickets, and he'd walk around. He'd just go to every single person in the club. Hey, I'm Kenneth Keith Callenbach. Buy me a drink. And they were like, who? Hey, I'm Kenneth Keith Callenbach. Buy me a drink. Get out of here. And then also like, hey, Keith Callenbach. Buy me a drink. Of course, you're Kenneth Keith. I'll buy you a drink. And then he'd get fucked up. And he's like, can I crash on your couch? I was like, no. I felt bad because he's like, I didn't want to, I was afraid that he'd never leave. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want it to be in habit. Like, I come to New York every weekend and I could just crash at Grillos. I was like, especially if I had my dorm room at that time. It was like there was one bed, and I was like, "There's no room, Keith." I got to sleep on the floor. I was like, "Look," I made sure he got on the train back to Philly. But the last time I saw him, I was out in Philadelphia doing a guest appearance, like guest bartending, and he drove like an hour and a half to come see me. He was such a sweetheart, and 2 weeks later he died, and it really wasn't cool how he died. Kenneth had some like Crohn's disease. His stomach was really bad. He had like intestines removed. He had horrible scars because it was like he had a really bad issue, and he picked up a hitchhiker, and the girl was like 16 years old, and he was just. And I know Kenneth, I really doubt that he did what, anything like that. I've known him for years, but something happened where she decided to scream rape, or that he tried to do something, and regardless of whatever that situation was, okay, there's ways to be treated once you're in jail, and because of the crimes that he was accused of, they threw him in jail and they just left him there without any, so when you're in jail and you're screaming in pain and you need to see a doctor, they're supposed to bring you to a doctor.
Yeah, of course.
He was in his apparently, from what I understand from his mother, he was in his jail cell screaming for 2 days in pain. They ignored him and he died in jail.
Oh, that's fucked up. Because they probably figure, well, he's a pedophile. Fuck him.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. I told his mother, I said, you really have a strong case to sue them. She's like, I just want this to be over.
Yeah.
So,
if they think that he is.
Yeah, I know it doesn't make you have rights. You go to a trial, and they judged him guilty right off the bat. And
he got the rights, but the other inmates are not. The other inmates are like, oh, he's a fucking pedophile. Let's fuck him up.
Yeah. Yo, I'm sure that might have happened too.
That could be,
because one punch to the stomach and that kid's gonna die.
There you go.
So, if he did what he did, he shouldn't have had to die that way. Because unless he was on trial and he deserved a trial like everybody else, unfortunately. Unless unless the police witnessed something, And I don't think it's. I know the kid. But I don't think it was in him to do that. Apparently, according to his mother, she's like, everybody said that girl is crazy. She got calls from other people saying, your son most likely didn't do anything. She's done shit like that before. So it's sort of, I don't know. I don't just, all I know is he was always a nice person to me, and he was wonderful. So that's those are my three favorite Wack Packers. Not a fan of Melrose Larry Green. I do not like High Pitched Eric. I've never met Eric, the midget actor or whatever. I don't know. That was all after my time. You made it this far. Awesome. Well, if you made it this far, maybe you want to go a little further. There'll be a little video thing somewhere around here, I think. I don't know. You can watch another video and you can subscribe. Another button. Just click and have fun. Click and play with yourself. Well, yeah, go ahead. You can do both.